Hello out there. It's Q&A day today. It's a bonus one. We're on the air. My eyes watering. Why? So I know there's about 15 things that I missed doing today, but that's okay because we weren't supposed to have a show today. This was supposed to be me sleeping in a little bit and then watching golf, and then that's it. But we're here. Somehow we're here. So let's make the best of it. It's going to be a quick one today. It's going to be a quick one today because Tiger Woods, I don't know if you've heard of him or not, tees off in 20 minutes. So we might not catch the first hole. We're definitely going to watch the first tee shot and just test things out. Hopefully YouTube doesn't shut me down for it. So maybe we won't do that. I'll be watching it. Anyways, good morning, everybody. Timber Crasher. One of the best names in the biz. Timber Crasher is here. Let's make sure that we're okay on the zaps. Are we? Yes. We got a couple people over there, it looks like. I just see a bunch of NPubs. Anyways, Rock and Roll is here this morning as well. Good morning, all wonderful Bitcoiners. What a time to be alive. Just love keeping on winning. There's lots of winning lately in Bitcoin. If you're hard to keep track of, honestly, but a little bit different news coming out here, and I'm going to talk about it in a second. But there's a lot of good news in Bitcoin, and there's some weirdness in Bitcoin right now. So we're going to talk about it. Letha, I see, is over in the YouTube and over in the Zap.stream. That's our favorite kind of audience member. Maybe one on the phone, one on the TV, not one on the computer, or she's just flipping between both. Jason, good morning. Muslim Bitcoiner, how do you see CBDCs under a Bitcoin standard? Just like fiat. That's all CBDCs are. I mean, the fiat dollars we use today are pretty much central bank digital currencies. I don't know what else you would call them. They don't exist in real life. They're not physical cash or coins or anything like that. It's just a digital number on a screen. We have CBDCs already. So with the CBDCs, they won't have any of the same characteristics as Bitcoin has. They're unlimited. We have no idea how many there are out there. They have the ability to issue them and create new ones anytime they want to. And so if they come out with CBDCs or like an official version of it for a country, I mean, it's just going to do what every other asset on earth is going to do, which is go down compared to Bitcoin, because it just doesn't, it can't compete. So, I mean, if you really think about it, we're already using CBDCs now. The majority of people hardly use cash, hardly go to the bank anymore. It's all sent e-transfers or PayPal or Venmo. That's just CBDCs, because you still have the central banks running it. You still have a currency for each country, the Canadian dollar, the US dollar, the peso. We're already using CBDCs. It's just not like an official CBDC yet. So I don't really know what their plans are with it, honestly. I think that they'll probably try to, well, how deep do we get on this? So here's my theory. Here's my theory on it. I think that before, part of their whole plan here is that with the fiat currency, they knew that it would die, just like every other fiat currency in history has done before. They knew that when they created it, they could squeeze as much out of it as possible. They've kicked the can down the road for a very long time, longer than a lot of people thought that they could. But they have so many tools there to do that, to keep it going down the road and keep the system running just a little bit longer. I mean, we're $35 trillion in debt. So I think we've kind of hit that point already. It's just that society still has to catch up to the realization of that. But I think that, you know, they knew that this was going to happen. And I think that they had plans to reset the whole system once that happened and create these central bank digital currencies, because nobody would really think twice about it. They would just say, okay, well, something happened to our old system. It was screwed anyways. Here's these new currencies that we came up with. They're called central bank digital currencies. They're the way of the future. And they were going to use that to, connect it to your digital ID, use it as control system, and have the ability to shut you off whenever they want to. So it would have been more surveillance, more control. But then Bitcoin came into the mix. And I think that really fucked up a lot of their plans. I really think that. So it'll probably happen. I mean, like I said, we're already using them pretty much, but nothing will change with Bitcoin. If anything, people will further realize the need for Bitcoin when they see the power and control ability from the CBDCs. Brendan says, grateful to be finally standing where we are now. No doubt. No doubt. All right. Well, we got like I said, we're going to do a quick one today. I didn't even do any metrics. That doesn't mean we're going to skip the wishing well toss, though. We can't skip that. So I don't know what the price is today. I don't know what the mempool fees are today. I know that the Tiger Woods is playing today. Let's check quickly on the mempool just to see if there's anything crazy going on. It seems like for the last month or so, everything's been the same. So there's no sense really talking about it. However, we will make a slight adjustment today for the bonus today. So it looks like mempool is about the same. Fees are very low, 5 sats per VByte. We're currently sitting at block height 852741. And Foundry, Marapool, Spiderpool. That's a new one. I don't think I've seen that on there before. And Antpool. So some of our least favorite miners are winning today. But that's the beauty of Bitcoin, is that anyone can plug in a miner. And that's really the difference between a lot of pretty much every other cryptocurrency out there, is that Bitcoin is the only one where you don't need to have anything. You don't need permission. You don't need to have X amount to stake and earn and this and that. You buy a miner, you plug it in, and you can start earning Bitcoin. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter what color your skin is. Doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account. Doesn't matter how many Bitcoin you have staked or Bitcoin you have. Anybody out there on Earth can plug into the Bitcoin network and potentially have a shot at winning the 3 Bitcoin block reward every 10 minutes. So on that note, I want to give a shout out to everybody who has used the Bitcoin Journey link to buy a BitAxe. That's one of the goals for 2024 here, is that I want every single person who's ever watched the show to own a BitAxe. They're $150, 150 to 200, I guess, depending on what country you're in. But you just plug it in. You have a chance to win 3 Bitcoin, or you can hook it up to a pool. You're learning about Bitcoin mining. You're immersing yourself in this ecosystem, and you're helping the network. You're helping decentralize the network for a very reasonable price. I think for me personally, when I was looking into getting into Bitcoin miners before, it was like $5,000 for a miner, $10,000 for one of the better ones. And I was just like, I don't know that my energy is cheap enough to make this work. That's a big investment. I think I'd rather buy Bitcoin with that than set up a miner. But with these, they're so cheap, so inefficient, or so efficient that they hardly use any power. But that means you're not getting too many guesses at the block reward, but you're still part of it. So if you're interested, I know that there's been several or a dozen people already who have purchased the BitAxe from the Bitcoin Journey store. So if you want to, if you're interested, there's a link in the show notes. It says BitAxe. Go there. And if you're in Canada, US, or Australia, they have the best prices by far that I've found. So Jason says, who's your sly pick to hoist the claret jug? I don't know if it's sly, but my money's on Oberg. Or Oberg. I think he was leading after 3 rounds last week. He took a bit of a shit on Sunday. But he's a European guy. He's used to playing in Sweden and the winds and the links. And he's the best golfer on the planet right now, I think. Alexander, good morning. All right, what's going on over on the Zap.stream here? Zap.stream, you better get comfy today because we got a couple hours of a show today. It's going to be a fun one. So depending on what you're doing, if you're at work today, if you're at home, whatever, we got quite a bit of time today. We're just not doing it all on YouTube. So it's going to be very easy for people to make the transition over to Zap.stream. Maybe some people will have their first experience with Zap.stream today. So we're going to watch some golf. We're going to talk some Bitcoin and talk about whatever the hell we want to. My Path to Fire says these low fees are great for coin joining and stuff and consolidating and just sending. I mean, if you're somebody who has, we'll just leave that for now. Maybe I'll get to it later. RJ says, just got my BitX set up and humming. I'm officially contributing to the security of our network. Albeit I'm contributing very little. Yeah, that's the thing, is that you're not contributing much, but you are contributing something. And Letha says, is it easy to set up? From the video that comes with it, it's like an 8-minute video. I'm going to do it myself, I think, eventually here when I have some time. And that's kind of why I'm putting off doing it. But I watched the video on it. It was like 8 minutes. It seemed very simple to set up, even for somebody like me. You basically plug it in. The majority of the settings are default on there, and you're going. Bitcoin, My Path to Fire says Bitcoin mining is a lottery system. Is the chances quite low to get a win? Yes, very low. But I mean, at the same time, this is how I look at it. I think it's 1 in 700,000 blocks. If you're running a BitX, you have 1 in 700,000 odds. Might be more than that. But it's actually very, very good odds compared to like a lottery or a scratch ticket or going to the casino or whatever it is. Like if you're going the lottery mining route and you're just plugging it in, I mean, if you hit that 3 Bitcoin block reward, that's going to change not your life, but your family's life for the next 1,000 years, just by, having this thing hooked up and waiting a block. Because you have to keep in mind here that with the BitX, if you're comparing a BitX to a normal Bitcoin miner, the only difference there is that the Bitcoin miners are using more energy, which means more guesses. So the S21 Bitcoin miners aren't any smarter. They're not more intelligent than your BitX. They just have more energy. They're using more energy and they're getting way more guesses at it. So as My Path to Fire said, it's a lottery system. That's all it is. There's no benefit to using an S21 versus just how many guesses you get to make. So I think that's where a lot of people get confused with Bitcoin mining, is that they think that the more you spend, the more intelligent the software is, the more intelligent the computers are. But that's not the case. They're just guessing more because there's more energy going into them. I hope that makes sense. So we got a couple different things there. So I was wrong, it looks like, but RJ said the chances are approximately 1 in a few million. And then Cayman said 712 million. So I don't know what's right. I don't know what's wrong. Somebody will know. At least I admit that I don't know. That's just what I had seen somewhere else. That it was 1 in 700,000. But maybe that's if something else happened. I don't know. Okay, let's get to the contest here for today. And somebody's going to have to remind me when it's 8:37. And why, you ask? Because that's when our guy, Tiger Woods, tees off. And we're going to switch over to the zaps. We're zapping today heavy. Okay, here we go. Rick, good morning. Good to see you, Rick. So Rick says, good morning all. Have you smashed the like yet? Let's take a look at that quickly. It looks like most people have. So shout out to you today. We got the likes, we got the zaps. You can do whatever you want. Zaps are definitely more appreciated, but we can't discount the likes. All right, let's do this. Get your phones ready. Get your Lightning wallets ready. Open the wallet, go to send, and get that QR scanner ready to go. We're tossing a coin into the Bitcoin wishing well, the Bitcoin wishing well. We ready? We set? Redeem. I might start doing that, an actual toss. 500 sats to the first person to scan that QR code today. Redeem the sats and be on your way. Let's make sure that nobody else has claimed it, or it has been claimed. I mean, sorry. Actually, while I'm on that note, while I just opened Nostr up, I want to give a shout out to somebody claimed it already. The people are quick on the draw. Shout out to a couple people here. So the first one is Jason, won the contest yesterday, and I think he won 2,100 sats, or his wife did, and they sent 500 to Arnie's wallet. Did you guys see the video of Arnie after after the show yesterday? Okay, so shout out. I'll touch on that in a sec, but shout out to Jason for that, and shout out to whoever zapped 5,000 sats this morning. I don't know who it was. They didn't have a name, but they said they zapped my Minibits wallet and said something nice for making it happen. That's all the comment was. For making it happen, 5,000 sats. So I don't know who it was, but whoever it was, thank you for that. But Arnie yesterday, so this was, and maybe after the show or sometime today, or while you're watching it here, right after I talk about this, you can go watch it. Because I posted a video on the YouTube channel here. So if you go to Bitcoin Journey, if you go to Shorts, you can find the video of Arnie that I posted yesterday. So right after the show, we heard this big bang, and I figured it was a bird who hit the window, but there's a lot of windows in this house. So we kind of walked around the house, and I saw the bird sitting there, and I thought it was toast. So anyways, Arnie saw it too. He ran right up to it, started sniffing it, seeing what's going on, trying to play with it. But the bird was obviously very injured. It just slammed into the window. So Arnie was sniffing it, and he's kind of like, he's just feeling it out. He gave a little paw at it to see. He thought about it. He thought about, eating it or attacking it. But anyways, he just ended up laying there with the bird that was injured for, honestly, at least 5-10 minutes. He was just laying there beside the bird. And then he put his nose up against it, and the bird just flew away. So Arnie was the hero of Rossman Lake yesterday. He helped bring a bird back to full health. And then so the bird flew off into the trees, and Arnie ran after it because he wanted to keep hanging out with his friend. So very, very cute video. If you're a dog person, make sure to check that out on the Bitcoin Journey YouTube channel. It's the first short. It's called Arnie Rescues Wounded Bird. Great video. Okay, we got Juan Lalito. How to remove the thought that I want to make it in this cycle. Hard to think long-term, 5 or 10 years. Well, that's a good question. And actually, there's another question that came in. This is the question that I got on YouTube yesterday. And it was from Classless Bozo. Possibly the best name I've ever seen on here so far. Classless Bozo. But anyways, they said, I'm unsure whether to hodl or sell late cycle to be in a position to whole coin next cycle. So, and this is kind of what I wanted to talk about today for them. Oh, it's 8:37. Let's jump over here and see what's going on. So this is kind of what I was thinking about yesterday, honestly. And so I saw this comment, and then we got a comment in YouTube right now, kind of about the same thing. So what I would say on this is just my advice, is to, okay, I can't be too distracted here. I'll leave this up. Figure out how much Bitcoin you want, like a reasonable amount. Take a good hard look. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, but take a good hard look at where you are today, what the price. Oh, Tiger's wearing his gator. Must be cold there today. But take a look at what you have take a look at where you think the price is going to be in the next couple of years. Just use an approximate. Think about how much money you can contribute into Bitcoin every month, and give yourself a reasonable goal for like the next couple of years in Bitcoin. And then once you hit that goal, that's when you can start setting up different funds. And what I would say on that is, like, let's say your goal is to get to 500. No, just wait. It looks like a fairway for Tiger. Quick tee pickup, not even watching it. He's in the fairway. 2 thumbs up. But so start setting up some different funds, and think about, because you really want to get into this long-term mentality with Bitcoin. So just take a look at your life. Look at your healthcare. Take a look at your pension or your retirement fund, whatever you're paying into every month. Look at all these different deductions off your paycheck. Look at all these automatic payments that come out of your account every month, and think about if any of those could be replaced with a Bitcoin fund. Because if you're here now, if you believe in where Bitcoin's going, don't you think that setting up even a small amount of Bitcoin and contributing to that every month, don't you think that that's going to outperform any other life insurance, health insurance, retirement fund, whatever that may be? I do. I don't have anything in the old system anymore, really, because what's the point? Why would I contribute to something like that where I know it's just going to slowly be deteriorated over time as they keep printing money, as the governments keep losing control of everything here? They're just going to get less and less, whereas Bitcoin's going the opposite direction. So get yourself your main stack, whatever that is, get that first, and then start setting up these different funds, and really think about realize how early we are. I know everybody thinks that, we're going to hit 150K this cycle, and you're going to sell some Bitcoin and you're going to retire off of that. But the reality is that you're not. You're going to keep your Bitcoin. You're going to keep working. You're going to keep adding value to the world. For that value, you're going to get some back, and you're going to buy Bitcoin with that. So don't think that you're ever going to stop buying Bitcoin. It's probably only going to accelerate from here, actually. I think that a lot of Bitcoiners have this mentality that the Bitcoin I have now, once the price goes up, that's all I'm going to have. But that's not the case. You should really be setting up your life right now in a way where you're going to be earning Bitcoin, using whatever fiat you get, converting that into Bitcoin. So your fund's not just going to be this point and then go down. Get to that point, start setting up some funds, and just keep buying Bitcoin forever. You're going to be buying Bitcoin forever. So get out of this mindset of like, I'm gonna hold for the next couple of years and then sell it for fiat. You're not going to do that. So get your main stack, start setting up these funds. So when these things come up, that's when you spend your Bitcoin. You're not just selling your Bitcoin for fiat. That doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't make any sense. I know that that's still our mentality just from being in the system for so long, but that's not what you want to do there. So don't think like, you don't need to think 5 or 10 years ahead. Just think that you're going to have this Bitcoin forever, and you're going to keep buying Bitcoin and earning Bitcoin. Don't ever have the thought of like, you're going to cash this back into fiat. Hope that makes sense. Anton, good morning. What do we got over in the Zaps today? Cayman said, I opened a life insurance back in 2009 with 10K. Could not close it before this year. I earned 30%. What a waste. That's what I mean. Like, that system is just, it's not designed to make you richer or wealthier. It's simply designed to barely keep up with inflation and continue funding that corrupt system. As if they don't have enough money coming in through income taxes, they have to take your pension, they have to take your life insurance. All of this funnels into the system and keeps it going. So take a look at your monthly expenses, whether that's, as I said, your health insurance, life insurance, dental plan, whatever, your savings account, like whatever you're putting into like a roof fund or an emergency fund, just put all that into Bitcoin. Get out of that system, actually earn some money, retain your purchasing power, and see what happens in 5 or 10 years. Because I guarantee that you know, 100,000 sats doesn't seem like much today. You can get it for what, $100? But in a decade or so, that might buy you a house. It might buy you a new roof, whatever it is, a new heart. But that's it's the whole system is just designed to steal from you and keep the system going. Deplorable Nerf Herder. That's another great name. Good morning, legends. Good morrow, legends. That's good name, good terminology there. I think that me and Deplorable Nerf Herder would get along well. Rick Costa says, interesting phrase, zap my mini bits. Cyborg, is that a bot or is that a person? There was a Cyborg bot on Nostr for a lot of time. They would just randomly respond to your posts, but I think that that's got to be a real person. Sounds like, I think this is a bot. Says, haha, sounds like someone's not too happy with their retirement savings plan. Don't worry, I'm here to provide some virtual comedic relief for whatever financial frustrations come your way. What? How is there a bot in our chat knowing what we're talking about right now? Add that to the creepiest fucking thing that happens today. Anyways, good morning, Cyborg. That was a bot, I guess. I didn't think it was. Delta Uniform Tango Charlie Hotel Echo Sierra Sierra, which stands for Duchess. Wow, we got some great names today. Hope you and Arnie have an awesome day. Thank you. All right. What's next here? So let's Tigers on the first hole. We're probably going to wrap things up here on YouTube in about 10 minutes or so. We'll maybe let them play the first hole and then we'll jump over to Zapstream. But if you have any other questions, if you have anything else to discuss, let's do that now. I had a couple other topics today. Let me find them here. Oh, what was the quote that Mark Cuban had yesterday? There's some strange things happening right now. And I did want to talk about this today because so let me just take you back to the Bitcoin journey for myself. I was very concerned about the CBDCs. I was very concerned about the government overreach happening. They were just going way too far into people's lives. And I grasped that fairly early on in the pandemic. But so I saw Bitcoin. I heard some bad things about it. Didn't do any sort of looking into it. Looked at a few other cryptos who claimed to be a better Bitcoin, a way to decentralize the system. And it kind of made sense in my head. But then it wasn't until I actually started learning about Bitcoin to understand what it was. And so with that, the thing that really kept me in Bitcoin is the price obviously helped. The price was going up. So I'm like, okay, well, I have to own some of this Bitcoin. But the thing that really kept me around in Bitcoin was the people that were involved. And I really mean that. Whenever I would watch a YouTube show with a Bitcoiner on there, I resonated with them quite a bit. And I don't know if you have the same feeling here. That's why you watch the Daily Show. But I trusted them. I realized where they were coming from, and it seemed very organic and very good-natured to me. And it didn't really matter who I watched online. It seemed like it was the same message coming from the Bitcoiners. The crypto community, not so much. But the Bitcoiners, I got a really good vibe from them. I'll just say that. And it just seemed like every month, every year, the people who I trusted were starting to talk about Bitcoin, were into Bitcoin. And the people who I didn't trust were talking very negatively about Bitcoin. And so I kind of gathered the fact in my gut, that was kind of my gut instinct, that I'm probably on the right path here. If the people who I resonate with and who I trust are talking about Bitcoin, and the people who I do not trust and cannot stand and think should be jailed or worse are hating on Bitcoin, that's a pretty good thing. But over the last couple months, I would say, I've started to see some things that I don't necessarily love. And I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if they're just finally catching up. I don't know if this whole thing's kind of like a bigger plan that we're unaware of. I don't know. But to hear people like Jay Powell talking about Bitcoin and how he's good with it now, that's weird to me. To hear people like Jamie Dimon and Trump saying that he's thinking about hiring him as like was it the controller of the president? Like Jamie Dimon is one of the biggest criminals on earth, if not the biggest criminal on earth. And I really think that if that happens, I'm going to start second guessing a few things that I believed originally. But at the same time, I'm actually not going to say but at the same time, because I think that if Jamie Dimon is in any way connected or on Team Trump, I think that I'm going to change my mind a little bit here. And that's an important thing to do, is that you can never just get locked in on one thing and have a very closed mind on things. Even if you think you kind of have things figured out, you always have to have an open mind. It's what got you here to Bitcoin. So never lose that in the journey here. Never lose your open mind. Always be willing to look into things and change your mind. I'm not saying that I am. I'm just saying that you have to be ready to change your mind. And so I guess the question then is, like, if Trump wins, if he hires Jamie Dimon as his guy, then will I sell my Bitcoin? Probably not. Will I think a little bit differently about it? Probably. Whatever that means. I don't know. But it's still important to talk about it. And it's important to keep an open mind and really look into things and never just be so sure that you're right about it. I know it's quite easy to do. The further you get down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, you see these different aspects of it, between the proof of work aspect of it, the decentralized, how hard it would be to attack the network, how it doesn't really benefit any of the control structures we have in place. But you still have to be, you have to be aware of this stuff. And so Cold Deck says Jamie Dimon, Treasury Secretary. That's what I mean. Like, it's very weird to me that Trump would come out and say that, honestly. So I'm definitely not distancing myself from Trump. I still love Trump, but the shooting too, the assassination attempt, also threw up some red flags for me. It just didn't make any sense. Nothing about that whole thing made sense to me. So is there something behind the scenes happening, good or bad? Yes. How do I know what's going to come of that? I do not. And I do not pretend that I know. So more of the story here, I know I don't really have like a conclusion on it, but moral of the story is always keep an open mind. Never be too fixated. Never be so sure of yourself that you're unwilling to listen to other people's opinions and explore other possibilities. That's what I would say on that. Mikkel. I got a good friend here named Mikkel. I don't think that's him though. His is spelled Mikal. So Tiger Woods is going for birdie here. Let's just take a quick second. Not in, but stress-free par to start the day. Tiger's looking good. Golf game's looking good, and he's looking good. So let's Mikkel says, what do you do when close friends and family won't research Bitcoin themselves? I never say you should buy Bitcoin. I say you should research Bitcoin yourself. But I guess that's why they say you get Bitcoin at the price you deserve. I think that's a really common feeling for a lot of people in Bitcoin. It's like you hear about it, you buy some, you learn about it yourself. You think that everybody else understands it or should understand it. But you just really have to keep in mind here that nobody does. Nobody wants to spend time researching something. Remember when we were in school and how difficult it was for people to do like a homework assignment or study for a test or whatever it is? Like, people don't go out of their way to learn new things. They just don't. I don't know why that is, especially today, in today's day and age, where you have anything you want to right here. Anything. Movies, golf, porn. And people are so stressed out right now, so pushed to their limits, working 2 or 3 jobs just to get by, basically, right across the world, it seems like. And so when they do have 5 or 10 minutes to spare during their day, they're looking after their kids, they're looking after their pets, whatever it is. They're not spending the time necessary. They don't care. And it's not until they get pushed to the point where they have to care that they do care, which is unfortunate. A lot of people are going to have a lot of regrets during this time. And people like Mikkel, people like other people in this chat who have been telling their friends and family to get some Bitcoin. And there's going to be a lot of regret, but there's nothing that we can do about that. We can try. We can, I'm here every morning doing the show, hoping that new people will come across this channel. So, somebody out there in Illinois got pushed to the point where they don't trust the banks. They don't trust the governments. They heard about Bitcoin. They Google it. They wind up here. So we can do things like that. We can push adoption forward here without directly doing it or without shoving it down anybody's throats. So the key thing there, and I talk about this all the time, but the key is that your friends and your family members have to have an open mind. They have to be ready to listen and ready to learn about Bitcoin. Otherwise, you could talk for 5 hours. And if they're not ready to listen to it, they're not going to hear one single word. So don't waste your time on those people. Focus on the people who want to learn and give them all of your attention. Deplorable Nerfer says we're watching a movie. Yeah, and you know what? There's a lot of people who laugh at that and who joke about that. But if you break things down of the events that have happened over these last 5 years, if you break it down one by one, instead of just getting caught up in the fucking insanity of it all, if you break everything down one by one, it really feels like that. Like the fact that the strongest country on earth has a president who can't put together a fucking sentence. That's a problem. He's shit himself. He's fallen off bikes. He's fallen going up the stairs. He can't string together a sentence. He got absolutely annihilated in the debate. Like it's comedy. It's comedy. But to me, I think that this whole thing had to happen. Because as we were just talking about there, people have to have that open mind. They have to see something, feel something in their life that triggers that thought of, okay, maybe the government doesn't have my best interest in mind. Maybe the bank, maybe I should be a little bit worried about where I store my wealth in a bank. If they have the ability to just freeze my account at whenever they want to, they could enact an emergency act like they did here in Canada and freeze my bank account. So all of these things happening in the world right now, to me, had to happen because people have to wake up to the corruption and what's going on here before they're willing to explore other options here, which is Bitcoin. And this is actually a great point from Crypto Shrimp. It says Bitcoin is open to anyone, good or bad. But yeah, we don't exactly want a Bitcoiner like JP Morgan as a Treasury Secretary, but Bitcoin will go on. That's true. And, like I said, I've been kind of fortunate in my journey so far that the people that I thought I trust were talking about Bitcoin, and the reverse of that as well. I've been pretty fortunate. But in reality, and I think once you get to that level of understanding with Bitcoin, it doesn't really matter who the president is. It doesn't really matter who the Treasury Secretary is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much Bitcoin BlackRock owns. I mean, if they get to like a 50% stake or 51% stake, then we might have a problem, but they're at like 1% right now. So we just have to be aware of that. We can't lose focus on where we're going here. And in time, if, as Jeff Booth says, if Bitcoin stays decentralized and secure, then everything else will fall forever in comparison to Bitcoin. And so that's an asset that you want to hold, I think, in my opinion. Muslim Bitcoiner says JFK and Trump both wanted to impact money. JFK silver certificates, Trump ending CBDCs, confidence, I think not. Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. First thing I said after I saw Trump got shot at was that there's been presidents who have come before who went against the central banks, JFK probably being the most infamous one, with his silver dollar. Trump coming out against CBDCs, the central banks, and embracing Bitcoin. They took a shot at him. So it makes sense. I just don't, the whole thing is so weird to me. It doesn't make any sense how that thing happened. Which goes back to this. I don't know. Call me crazy. Oh, what's this? We got a super chat from my mate Max, $100. Is that real? $100 from my mate Max. You are my mate, Max. You mate my day. Get it? Says, God bless, brother. I hope your YouTube engagement correlates with Bitcoin's power law. I hope so too. I think it will. For me, I think about that a lot, actually. I think that, as we head into this next bull run, which is inevitable at this point, but I think that this YouTube channel is going to grow with it. Anybody who, and this is for the next year and for the next 10 years as well, but anybody who has their wagon hitched up to Bitcoin in any way, whether you have a YouTube channel, whether you own some, whether you are helping people with it, accepting Bitcoin for your business, holding Bitcoin on your treasury, I think that as this whole thing plays out, anybody who's attached with Bitcoin is going to ride that wave. In wealth, in influence, in whatever you're working on, you're going to go up with Bitcoin. So thank you for that. And the other part to that is that why Bitcoin keeps working and keeps winning is because it's so consistent. Every 10 minutes, there's a new block with a bunch of transactions in it. Every 10 minutes, whoever provides energy to help secure the Bitcoin network has the chance to be rewarded for that every 10 minutes. So Bitcoin's very consistent. It's the most consistent thing on earth, almost just like the sun coming up every day. Every 10 minutes, there's going to be a new block. But you have to apply that to your own life as well. So every day, 9 a.m. Eastern, regardless if I've had 2 hours of sleep, regardless if I had 12 beers the night before, we show up and be consistent. And that's how you win in anything. Consistency is the key to life. It's such a cliche thing to say, but there's nothing else that's more important than that. I really believe that. So anyways, sorry, once again, thank you, Max, for that. That's fucking awesome. $100. He's our top zap. We'll include that as a top zap of the month. Unless somebody can somehow zap more Bitcoin than $100. But my mate Max, if you're still watching the show today, shoot me an email, 88sats@proton.me, and I'll get you something special. If you hold the title of the biggest zap or super chat of the month, we're going to do that every month for the highest zapper. Alrighty. What else did we have here? I missed a couple. Sorry, we're running a bit over time here. I wanted to do a 20-minute show today, but the people are here, so we're going to be here as well. Crypto Shrimp says, you are blessed if you have time or can make time to research Bitcoin in today's world, where most live hand to month, day by day. 100%. 100%. And you know what? The other thing that I will say on that is that if you understand where we are in this moment today and what's coming, how much is going to change over these next 5, 10 years, 20 years, then you have to take that on, and nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to create that time. So you either have to sacrifice other parts of your life or you have to quit your job. And that sounds pretty extreme, but I did. And was it very uncomfortable for 2 or 3 years? Is it still very uncomfortable? Yes. But do I think that it's going to pay off significantly in the future? Yes, or else I would not be doing it. So you have to take on that responsibility. If you want to make the time, if you want to put your energy into this new system, you have to do that yourself. Nobody's going to grant you more hours in the day. Nobody's going to say, here's a $20,000 bonus for the year, go buy some Bitcoin, or have the month off, go study Bitcoin. You have to take that on yourself. And it's very uncomfortable, but the only people who have ever gotten anywhere in life have taken that route. The uncomfortable route. Fuck yeah, Tiger. Is it par 5? Hold on. Sometimes I should just watch golf every day because I get on these rants, and then once I just see a good golf shot, it kind of calms me down. But that's the truth. I stand by that. And this is another great point. This is a very good point here from Crypto Shrimp. Man, Crypto Shrimp, might have you on the show sometime here soon. Says, don't give up, to Mikkel, talking about talking to friends and family. The more touch points someone has, the more likely they are to learn. 100%. The touch points are key to life. I learned that fairly early on in my accounting career in networking. That was a big part of our job, honestly, was finding new clients, finding other businesses to work with. But the touch points is the key. And what a touch point means is like they hear something about Bitcoin, then they hear something about Bitcoin mining, and then they hear that Larry Fink is talking about Bitcoin. Those are all different touch points. And the thing that really resonated with me and made me understand the importance of a lower time preference in touch points is that they said that you have to have like 20 different touch points with one person for them to recognize you or want to do business with you, one of the two. But we go to all these different things and we show up and we think that, we're just going to hit the lottery today and we're going to find a client, we're going to meet a new friend, we're going to meet our future wife. But there are so many touch points required and so much work required to make those relationships and to, in this case, push adoption forward. You need to have so many different touch points throughout the journey there. So going back to Zap here. Cool thing about Zap is you can share links on there, which you can't do on YouTube. So this is from Caymans. He just shared a link on there from Bitcoin News with the tulip farm that's using Bitcoin mining to regulate their temperatures within their greenhouse, a tulip farm in the Netherlands. So we actually watched that video yesterday, Caymans, on the show. Very cool. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, go to Bitcoin News. Their Twitter feed will have it. What's it called here? The post is called Farm in the Netherlands Uses Bitcoin Mining to Keep Stable Temperatures Inside the Greenhouse. It's a 3-minute video. So if you didn't watch yesterday's show, check that out on Bitcoin News' Twitter feed. All right, what else we got here? RJ says every creature in the swamp is going to be openly pro Bitcoin here shortly. They realize the gig is up and it's time to position themselves in the new world order. That's kind of where I'm struggling right now. That's where I'm going back and forth on. To me, I asked the question to myself, is it them finally realizing it, that the old system's gone? Or were they part of this whole thing and they've known where it's going for a very long time? Between Jamie Dimon and between Larry Fink, I'm under the strong belief that they've understood Bitcoin for a long time now, and they couldn't really come out and talk about it until they had the ability to own some of it legally. Look at this. So this is a great point from RJ here in the Zap stream. He says, I've gifted a few loved ones a cold storage device and about $100 in Bitcoin. Every one of them came to me in a couple months later asking me for advice to buy more. So that's a great tip there, RJ. I like that. But I need to write this down because I'm actually going to give away we have our golf tournament tomorrow, our annual King Cup, the biggest event of the year. It's tomorrow, which is why I'm not doing a show tomorrow. But I'm actually going to be giving away a bunch of prizes for closest to the pin, some random draws, and I'm actually going to put a Bitcoin. What the fuck are those things called? The non-kyc thing. I don't know. Those little USB sticks that you can put a Bitcoin wallet on. I'm going to give away one of those today. And I'm maybe going to do like a post on it or a video. I'm going to have like some head covers there. I'm going to have some shirts, some other stuff, maybe some cash. And I'm going to put the Bitcoin thing there. And I'm going to see if anybody takes it. And I'm hoping that nobody takes it, obviously, so nobody gets my Bitcoin. But then you can say, like, in 10 years from now, when Bitcoin's a little bit higher priced, you know, you took a new hat instead of 100,000 sats. That's kind of the idea there. I'm sure somebody will take it because there's a lot of Bitcoiners that I associate with. But so that's the plan. King Cup, Bitcoin, USB. Thanks for the reminder. All right. Tiger for par. Let's give him a second here. To remain at even par through 2. Got it. Fuck yeah. So Anu, I think you were in the chat yesterday here. So shout out to you for showing up for both back-to-back days, even though I chirped you yesterday. Do you believe the Trump event was real? I do not. And that's going to piss some people off. I don't really care. There's no way that happened. Trump is the most protected person on the planet. And you hear so many different stories of like, well, maybe his Secret Service department there was an insider in there. Maybe it was where was it? Illinois? Maybe the Illinois state was responsible for that roof. No chance. No chance. Have you been to a Trump rally? Have you looked at Trump's motor brigade that he carries around? Like, the guy is the most protected person on earth. If Trump was going to get shot, if somebody had the ability to take a shot at Trump, it would have happened 8 years ago. So do I think that it was real? I do not. So I've kind of come to that conclusion over the last couple of days. What does that mean? No idea. Not going to pretend like I know. Yeah, like, there's no way that dipshit could pull off something like. There's no way. You could be the most advanced person, most financially backed person on the planet, and you wouldn't get close to Trump. And you're trying to tell me that from 150 yards or 150 feet, whatever it was, regardless, some bozo was sitting on a roof with a rifle? I know it's so easy to get wrapped up in like the headlines, the story, the fear, all this kind of stuff, but you just take a step back and that never happens. Drop a like for Jor. It's a good idea. A lot of people have. We got $100 tip today too, which is wild. Zap.stream. I don't know if it's not loading or not, but not looking great over there today. But the good news is that we still have a couple hours on there, so we're not giving up on Zap.stream quite yet. Anarcho, good to see you, buddy. THB is a Thai bot. What does that mean? I don't know. Oh, that's the dollar there. Gotcha. My Path to Far says, yeah, it's quite ridiculous to think that was a real event. Honestly, like, there's people with millions of followers who are analyzing this whole thing of how the bullet just barely missed Trump's head and how it happened and like the slow-mo version of it. No, like, don't get wrapped up in that stuff. There's no way that happened. There's just not. Sorry, I missed another one here. This is from Zane. So I started reading Mastering Bitcoin by Andreas Antonopoulos to start practicing programming on top of Bitcoin. Currently studying electrical engineering / cybersecurity. Got to make it useful. Wow. Shout out to Zane. That's fucking awesome, man. Andre Antonopoulos, that's definitely not the place you want to start if you're a new Bitcoiner. His books. But man, watch some of Andre's old talks on YouTube, like presentation speeches that he's given. You're going to learn a lot. He's one of the best Bitcoiners out there. I know we're kind of 15 years into it, and it's been littered with people now. But like Andreas was one of the OGs, the smartest, most intelligent people, probably the earliest person to fully understand Bitcoin. And I mean, I've been in this for 4 or 5 years now. I probably have 1/100th of the knowledge that Andreas had. And he was here early. He's one of the very few people who had like a very strong conviction early. He wasn't just in it to make a quick buck and convert back into fiat. He understood what Bitcoin was, where this whole thing's going, and the plumbing in Bitcoin. Oh, the book is a set of his talks. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Mastering Bitcoin book. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to share with everybody here. This is something I just discovered, and I'm not sure if some people might know this, but I did not know this. So on my Spotify premium account, it's like $10 a month. I've been paying it for like 5 years now. But within Spotify premium now, you actually have access to a ton of audiobooks for free. That's included in your Spotify premium account. I did not know that until last week. I was going for our trip a couple weeks ago. I was looking on Spotify for some ebooks, and there was a whole bunch of ones that I liked that were available for free. Like, let me show you a few here. Sorry, we're at an hour here. We're just going to go for it today. I changed my mind. We're going to do a full show today. Tiger can wait. What was I looking for here? Spotify. And I apologize if today's show is a little bit scrambly, but every time we do a Q&A, they kind of are. I mean, honestly, every day is. That's what happens when you don't have a script in front of you and you just kind of talk. So these are the books I got for free, downloaded on Spotify. The Magic of Thinking Big. Best book out there. Best book that has ever been written. Mandibles. I'm sure there's people who watch RHR. Mandibles is 12 hours long. Maybe more than that. At least 12 hours long. The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. The Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. Golf is Not a Game of Perfect by Dr. Bob Rotella. And The Art of War by Sun Tzu. All for free on your Spotify account. So there you go. There's a free tip for today. I did not know that. Let's see if the Bitcoin Standard's on there. Bitcoin Standard podcast. Oh no, that's his podcast. Oops. The Bitcoin Standard, the Fiat Standard is on here. The Bitcoin Standard is not. But it looks like you can listen to the Fiat Standard. It's included in premium. All right. What was it? What else did I want to talk about here? I had one more thing. No, that's it. I already talked about it. All right. Crypto Shrimp says 100% thanks for your consistency and showing up. Would be great to connect. Yeah, shoot me an email. Anybody, anytime you want to, if you have a business opportunity, if you have a question, if you have, you just want to reach out. All my information is always in the show notes. My email's in there. My nostr and pub's in there. You can find a way to get a hold of me if you would like to. And I'm actually going to be, so here's where we'll end with today. This is kind of what I've been thinking about. And I don't know how many people will be into this or not. But King Neil says, do you think Ledger is a safe crypto wallet, sir? No. Is it safe? Maybe. Would I use it over other options? No. You got the cold card, you got the passport, you have the seed signer. If you really want to protect your Bitcoin and make sure you have it in 50, 100, 500 years from now, use an actual device, not a USB stick. Don't plug your life's energy, the greatest asset that's ever existed, into your laptop that you visited porn on. Like, just use a little bit of common sense. I'm not technical enough to know if somebody can hack you from that. But that's just my logic and common sense, which is what the show is all about. Logic and common sense. Okay, so we're going to wrap things up here. This was the proposal I wanted to make to people, because we've been having quite a few people join the YouTube. We set up a new $3 membership account, mostly just to support the channel. I'm going to start sending the full video every morning, I think. I'm still kind of going back and forth on that, but you're going to have access to the full version every day. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but you're going to get it. But the other thing here too that I wanted to do is once a month, I want to start doing like a private Q&A or private video session. You can show up in the chat. You can show up with your video. You can ask questions. We can go deep into things if you want to. I want to start doing that once a month. I'm going to make that my goal. And I'm going to have people, everybody who's a Bitcoin journeyman on YouTube. So you pay $3 a month. You get access to all the shows. You get the monthly private Q&A, private discussion. And for $3 a month, the Patreons, obviously, with Living in the Future, they will also be invited to that. But the YouTube part is the cheapest way to do it. The most, like $3. I spent more on a bottle of water the other day. And I know you're thirsty, you're dehydrated, you need water. I get it. But just think about that. I heard Oscar from the Fountain app say that one time. It's like when you exchange your money, let's say that you buy a coffee from wherever. Starbucks is insane, so we won't even use that. But like a coffee from Tim Hortons now is even $2.50 or $3. So that's how much you value it. That's how much you're trading for that. That's how much value you get back from that coffee is $2, $3 worth, and it's gone in half an hour. With the show, if you've been listening to it, if you've been watching the channel, watching the daily show, if you want to be part of these private Q&As or private discussions, plus get access to the full videos, $3 a month, I think that that's a very reasonable amount of value to give back for what you're receiving, if you want to. I'm not going to limit it to people only on the Patreon and that. We're going to keep the show going free every single day on zap.stream. But that's just, I really want to keep doing this. I want to keep growing this and putting more time and energy into this. And any kind of support that you can offer is a big plus for me. So look at this. We got somebody who just signed up right now. Duchess, also known as Delta Uniform Tango Charlie Hotel Echo Sierra Sierra. New member. Heck yeah. I appreciate that very much. So that's what we're going to do here. That's my plan here to, if people want to, if you want to show up, I think it'd be a lot of fun to not only just have the chat, but if you want to turn on your camera, turn on your audio, we can have like an hour or two once a month for the private community there. I think that people will get a lot out of that. And we might talk about things that we won't talk about on YouTube necessarily. And yes, moral of the stories go Bitcoin only wallet. Cheers to that. All right. Well, with that, I see a big zap here on zap.stream. I don't know who it's from though. Let me reload this. So let's give a couple shout outs to end the show here. Hold on. How do I find this now? Profile, stream. Where's the stream button here? Why am I having a hard? Oh, here we go. Okay, who zapped that? I want to see. It says 0 stream earnings, but that's not accurate. I don't know. Somebody zapped 2,000 sats somewhere here. I see it at the top, but I don't know who it was. So whoever it was, either leave your name in the chat or just thank you. I appreciate it. And shout out to our buddy, my mate Max, who's the July champion so far, the biggest zapper or super chatter. They're going to get a little gift at the end of this month. That's huge, Max. I really appreciate that. $100. And our newest member, Duchess, for the Bitcoin Journeyman. So with that, this is what we're going to do. We're actually going to end this stream completely. I'm going to move over to zap.stream. Or should I? Do I need to? No, I don't. I'm just going to keep this thing rolling. Fuck it. So we're going to move over to Zap.stream. We're going to watch golf for a couple hours here. I don't know how long it's going to be. I actually don't have a real easy day today. I got to get ready for the tournament, but I said I was going to do it, so we're going to do it. I don't know how long it's going to be, but if you're somebody who watches the show every day on YouTube and you've never been to Zap.stream and you got a couple hours right now, the perfect time to try it out. The perfect time. So just go to Zap.stream in your browser, and this stream will show up right at the top. Go in there. You can set up a profile quickly. You can connect to your nostr if you have that, or you can just hang out. But you don't need to have nostr to have a profile on there. And we can chat. We'll watch some golf and enjoy our Thursday. Have some coffee. So once again, shout out to everybody for showing up today. Thank you for the zaps. Thank you for the chats. And thank you for signing up for the membership for the Bitcoin Journeyman. $3 a month. $3 a month. Is it worth it to you? Do you get $3 worth of value out of this show every month? I don't know. You tell me. So have a great day, everybody. Hopefully we'll see you over on Zap.stream. And if not, we'll see you next week because we are gone tomorrow. So enjoy your day. Have the best Thursday of your entire life today. And we'll see you on Zap.stream. Bye-bye.